Spanish or Tagalog? Chinese or Hausa? French or Marathi? Major languages, minor languages, which ones do you want to learn? Pierre here, welcome to Fluent Friends. Hi guys, Pierre again, welcome to Fluent Friends. So, if you had a choice of getting paid in a certain currency after working, after providing a service, of course, would you rather get paid in US dollars or would you rather get paid in Mickey Mouse dollars? I know this kind of goes over some of you guys' head, like what is this guy saying right now? Okay, so you know in Disney World, you actually trade your real dollars for Mickey Mouse dollars, and then the Mickey Mouse dollars are the dollars that are used in Disney World. Now, while the dollars are being used in Disney World, I mean, you can buy anything that you want. It's wonderful. But outside of Disney World, that money is at best a souvenir. It can't really be used for anything else. Same kind of idea with languages. You have major languages and you have minor languages. So in that case, it would behoove you to learn some major ones in addition to the minor ones that you may already know or you may want to learn for whatever reason. For example, Hebrew, Latin, Greek, and stuff like that. People have special reasons for wanting to learn that. We'll cover that in another video. These languages that I'm going to give to you, these are languages that are comparable to US dollars. They can be used anywhere. They're in demand everywhere. They can be used anywhere. It can be used everywhere. The more of these languages that you know, the more you can actually do. You know, in terms of work, you might get hired because you're bilingual, trilingual, multilingual, polyglot, hyperpolyglot, whatever. The other languages that we're talking about, the minor languages of the world, these are in comparison to also like the Mickey Mouse dollars. They can only be used in a certain area. Now, going into specialty languages, we can go into specialty languages and those actually even have maybe a super high value because they're so rare. But there are other languages that are kind of somewhere in between. So in comparison, Mickey Mouse languages, they're cool, they're nice. For example, for me, where I'm located, Hmong. I love the language Hmong, but it's not spoken around the whole world. It just works in my particular area, some places in California, I think maybe some places in Miami. There are just very few Hmong populations. It's not gonna work for me in Nigeria. It's not gonna work for me in Kenya. It's not gonna work for me in Japan, right? It's gonna work in the area that I'm at, right? So compared it to a Mickey Mouse language or Mickey Mouse dollar, it's not devaluing it, right? I'm learning it, I value it. But I'm saying that there are languages that are more valued. They're real dollars. They can be used everywhere and in demand everywhere. If you go to Africa, people would love it if you can speak Chinese. If you go to China, people love it if you speak Chinese. If you're in the United States, people would love it if you can speak Chinese. If you're in Russia, people would love it if you can speak Chinese. Because these are the world powers. These are the developing economies. These are the countries that kind of decide what's happening in the world. Therefore, their language becomes very, very important to learn, right? Number one, I would put this as Chinese. Now, why do I say Chinese? I look at it from a consumer aspect. You have about 1.3 to 2 billion Chinese people living in the whole world. Having this language gives you access immediately to 2 billion people in the world. Immediately. No questions asked. There you go. So Chinese would be one of them. Another one would be English. Even if it's not your first native language, it probably will be your second language or your third language. At some point, you gotta learn English because America speaks English and America is number one. You know, nothing you can do about that. That's just what it is right now, right? So we had to learn English. If China was number one, we'd all have to learn Chinese. Simple. The next one I put will be Russian. Why? Russia has been toe-to-toe with America as far as technology is concerned, as far as a whole bunch of other stuff is concerned. And they are a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they're a wonderful nation, like all the nations in the world, and they are a force to be reckoned with. So I would say Russian would be another good one that I would say you should learn. Hindi. Hindi and various dialects in India. Hindi is probably like one of the major languages that's spoken in India, and a lot of people would know Hindi and Telugu, Hindi and Bangla, Hindi and Marathi, Hindi and Tamil. So Hindi is a very big language that you'd want to learn. Another one. Number 5, I probably put this one as Arabic. Arabic, yes, it's a specialty language in terms of like it's a religious language and the Quran's tied to that. But at the same time, Arabic actually is spoken by a coalition of nations in the Middle East. Plus, being attached to the fact that the Quran uses it, there's a religious connotation to it, and there's about what 1 or 2 billion Muslims in the world. There's at least about a billion Muslims in the world. When you think about that, there being a billion Muslims in the world, you can see how that language would actually have a life of its own based on that. Another one I will give would probably be German. Why German? I put German on this list because this even the same way I will put Japanese on this list as well. During the wars, with what America has had, we messed a lot of things up, and basically some countries they got into developing things. Because we basically told them, hey, you don't have to have a military, we'll take care of you. And because of that, these guys focused on certain things. They became very good at it. So German engineering. Germans are known for their engineering. Heckler and Koch guns. German engineering as far as automobiles. So you have your Mercedes-Benz, you have your Volkswagen. Look at the name, Mercedes-Benz, Volkswagen. You have cars like this. These are Mercedes-Benz is really high on the list. Very great car. Their cars that come from Germany are amazing. So because of this, these guys focused really well on one particular thing or on one particular industry. Being the fact that they don't have an army to take care of themselves, they can only focus on this one particular thing. They became really, really good. So because of that, they're actually an economic power. They're actually a power that is to be reckoned with. So the Germans, the Japanese, they create products. And because of this, with the amount of people that actually live in Japan, I think it's about 100 and something million, even though they're in a small area, confined to a small area, their language has a broad reach because of their products. You see what I'm talking about? The Japanese have a huge anime industry. So because of this, people might actually want to learn Japanese they don't want to read the subtitles anymore. They really want to understand what's being said. The culture has become kind of cool, it's become kind of fun, and all that good stuff, right? Konnichiwa. Another one I'd say you should learn is probably French. There's just this everyone wants to go to France. There's always this croissants. We have a lot of French words that we borrow. Louvre, croissants. We use these words a lot. Everyone just fashion, Paris week, fashion week in Paris. Paris is this place that is linked with like romantic getaways. So I'm taking my wife to Paris for a honeymoon and stuff like that. So it has its own reach. I think the reach of France really is more cultural than anything else. And the idea of croissants and cobblestone streets and going down the way they even talk. Comment tu t'appelles? Je m'appelle Pierre. The way they even talk, it's very appealing. A couple of more would be Italian. Why? Lamborghini is made from Italy, so the Italians are known for making very beautiful cars. So the Italians are known for a few things, and I think because of this Italian, the reason maybe it's one of the reasons why Latin's kind of like not quite dead yet. You see, you have a high percentage of Catholics with Italians. They make Lamborghini and Ferrari, I think, come from Italy. These are really high-priced cars and sought-after exotic vehicles. Even the whole mafia culture, Italiano, arrivederci, it all comes from this Italian culture, right? So when you think about it that way, when you have this in mind and you think about it that way, you begin to realize that, okay, I can see how this language, even though it's confined to a small area, it has reach culturally. It has reach commercially. It has reach economically. And it even has reach in some senses spiritually. So it has reach, right? And the last one I probably put on this list, I probably put it as Spanish. Spanish is spoken by a lot of people. You speak Spanish in Mexico, you speak Spanish in Spain. There's slight variations to it, but it still comes down to it being, I think it's the second most spoken language in the world, actually beats English as a native language, right? And if you think about it, I think with Spanish is grouped with Latin, Portuguese, Italian, French as a romantic language. It's grouped as a romantic language. And because of that, when you speak Spanish and you speak Latin and you speak French, it's easy to pick up Portuguese. A lot of polyglots, one hack, a way that they hack into speaking several languages. When they pick up Italian, they pick up Spanish, they pick up Latin, they pick up French, and they pick up those kind of languages pretty easy. Aqua, agua, very, very similar words. Now this is my top 10. What's yours? Konnichiwa. Kamsahamnida. No, that's Korean. The way they even talk, it's very appealing. That's why it's called a romantic language. So this is another language I'd probably put on this list as well.
Is that why they call it a romantic language? I thought it was because it's Roman. In Rome, they had...
They're not that important. Well, sorry. They are important, but they're just not...
I'm sorry.
Okay. All right. It's spoken by a coalition of nations in the Middle East. So you would call that, they call it the UAE, United Arab Emirates. Is that the name of an airline, or is that the name of a...
That's...
Smith and Wesson? That's not German. That's not. Are amazing. I think the Koenigsegg is a German car. It's a German supercar.
Massive industries in Italy that you have no idea.
The mafia is an Italian thing.
Racist.
No, I'm just being...
Racist.
No. What? You know, speaking of learning languages, you'll never believe these 3 easy tips to boost your language acquisition skills. Head on over to fluentfriendsonline.com, sign up, and we will send you an exclusive video. This is not on YouTube, and best of all, it's free, directly into your inbox. If you like what you're seeing so far, subscribe, hit the like button, thumbs up, thumbs down. If you want to see that exclusive video, the link is in the description below. Thanks again for watching. Spasiba, arigato, kamsahamnida, oshe, shia. Bye.